Live from the No Panic Zone, I'm Steve Gruber. I am America's voice. I'm a man on a mission to make this nation better every day. Yes, I'm proud to say I believe in America first, too. Here are three big things you need to know right now. Number one, Joe Biden sits down to an extravagant lobster dinner with the French president. At the same time, he's bankrupting the Maine lobster industry. Nice look, Joe. Number two, in California, they're getting ready to pay reparations to the descendants of slaves. That's right, it'll cost $570 billion, which is more than the entire state budget annually. Brilliant. And number three, so many things to discuss, but the strangest story through the week is the one of the Democrats' super donor, Sam Bankman-Fried, who a month ago was worth, what, $20 billion, today isn't worth a penny, and is facing a long stint in jail? Well, maybe. I mean, he donated $40 million to the Democrats. So it seems he gets to ride out this very strange story, the story of FTX cryptocurrency, one that bilked numerous savvy investors out of piles of money and stole the life savings of others. Sam Bankman-Fried is sitting in the fabulous seaside penthouse in the Bahamas right now. He's not on his way to America, at least not now, and he is granting interviews while the world looks on in a strange fascination. Yeah. SBF says he is sorry. He's sorry for stealing people's life savings. But Jim Cramer, for one, not buying it on CNBC. Listen to this.
That guy is a clueless idiot. Intent means nothing. Saying sorry means nothing. If you commingle, if you had no record keeping, those are against the law. It's not like they're like, you know what, I was sloppy and I feel bad and I'm sorry. No, you were sloppy, you didn't keep records. Illegal. All right. So if you're admitting to illegality, even though you think that you had no intent, the U.S. attorney does not care one whit about intent. What the U.S. attorney cares about is, did you break the law? Like, you don't go to the U.S. attorney and say, man, I'm really sorry.
I didn't mean it.
I didn't even hurt anybody. No, it's against the law.
Yeah, it's against the law. And you did it, pal. Yeah, gosh, I'm really sorry I broke the law. I mean, everyone knows that only works if you push some poor schmuck into the oncoming subway train in New York City or burn down Minneapolis. Then that excuse works. Otherwise, some people, especially fancy MIT graduates that steal money from other wealthy people, well, they usually get tossed in jail, and yet it hasn't happened. Instead, this guy is doing the morning show news circuit. I guess $40 million in political donations to the Democrats can buy you a lot of goodwill from those in power, especially in our emerging third world nation of America. Bankman-Fried gave another interview to ABC, and I'm sure his lawyers are thrilled. He just keeps, yeah, I'll do this one, and I'll do that one. His lawyers just must be going, we told you not to do that. Listen to this.
A lot of people look at you and see Bernie Madoff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's who I am at all, but I understand why they're saying that. People lost money, and people lost a lot of money. And, I mean, at the end of the day, look, there's a question of what happened and why, and who did what caused the meltdown. And I think that reads very differently, right? When you look at the classic Bernie Madoff story, there was no real business there. The whole thing, as I understand it, I think, was just one big Ponzi scheme, right? FTX, that was a real business.
Well, we were a real business. We were real. I want to be a real boy, said Pinocchio. Well, sorry, Pinocchio, but I want to be a real boy. Yeah, okay. I want to be a real businessman, said SBF. Yeah. Does he think jail is in his... I think jail is in his future. I can't say for sure, because if you give $40 million to the Democrats, second only in donations to George Soros, I mean, here's a kid who's in his 20s at the time, giving millions of dollars to the Democrats. And they didn't think to themselves, gee, this is a little fishy. I mean, listen to that guy. Would you invest a nickel with that guy? Is he thinking jail is in his future? I do. Listen to this.
At the end of the day, you know, it's not my call what happens, and the world will judge me as it will.
Are you worried about going to jail?
There are a lot of things that are worrying me right now. And as best as possible, I'm trying to focus on what I can do going forward to be helpful and, let whatever, regulatory and legal processes are happening play out as they will.
Yeah, play out as they will. Yeah. Do you like small rooms with locking doors? I mean, come on. Honestly. If this was anybody who hadn't given $40 million to the Democrats, wouldn't they be in jail? That's the big question. Why isn't this guy in jail right now? That's what Maria wanted to know as well. Listen to this.
But if it's good old-fashioned fraud, why is he doing the rounds this morning? He was on GMA. He was at the New York Times Summit. Why isn't he in handcuffs? Is it because he donated $40 million to Democrats?
Well, I hope that's not it, but it does have the appearance of a kid glove treatment for someone who had mesmerized the public. And isn't that typical of a really, really effective fraudster to dupe even fairly sophisticated investors? But if you look behind the curtain of FTX, they didn't have corporate boards. They didn't have good accounting procedures. They were approving expenditures with emojis. They were living in the Bahamas in a compound where a lot of inappropriate behavior was going on among the workers, and absolutely no solid financial controls for a company that was dealing in billions of dollars with sophisticated investors. And so
I guess she's saying everybody was getting screwed at the office and everywhere else. That's what it sounds like. But what about all those Democrats and, yes, Republicans that took the cash? It seems, believe it or not, the Democrats have returned the money or given it to charity. But some Republicans like Mitch McConnell and Joni Ernst, they still have the money they were given. I can tell you it's not a good look. Mike Braun, the senator from Indiana, Republican, says anyone in politics that took money from this clown and FTX needs to return that money right now. Here he is.
This would be one of the things where I would not hesitate on. I think you give it back. You never would have taken it had you known this was going to unfold. And I think that anybody that benefited from it, it was a Ponzi scheme. A lot of these fledgling industries, though, that are fueled by capital only, not operations, and especially in something arcane like blockchain and cryptocurrencies, digital currencies, we got a long way to go. If you don't put some little regulation in it, don't kill the baby, don't kill the infant industry that's trying to grow, it's going to be a tricky dynamic.
Yeah, tricky dynamic. Give the money back. It's not tricky. You give the money back, you arrest that clown, you figure out who else was involved, you figure out how the Democrats took $40 million. They hide it and they bury it and they move it around. But come on. $40 million he gave, and nobody thought that was unusual. Some guy comes out of nowhere and gives all this money. I'll be right back.